was spreading the word that rock and roll was the devil's music, and if you play records backwards mixed in amongst the gibberish, you could hear extra messages that were supposedly demons speaking to you. So I had a whole bunch of scared and frightened teenagers on my hands. I'm a natural skeptic, and I immediately went home that night and rewired some of my equipment to play the tapes in reverse and to show the kids the next morning, well listen, look, I play this hit backwards, there ain't nothing there. Much to my surprise, I played the record backwards and I heard a very clear and intelligent English phrase. I thought, oh my, gee whiz. I ran it back again and there it was. I went and called one of my friends and asked him to come over and played it in reverse without telling him what to hear, and he also heard the same thing. I checked the soundtrack for intentional insertions. This track has been manipulated with was the obvious thing that first came to my mind. I ran oscilloscope checks and some computer waveform checks and found the soundtrack to be quite pure and untainted. The next 2 or 3 months I played back the majority of my musical collection at the time, which consisted of a range of rock and roll to gospel to love songs, country and western, and found a wide cross-section of reverse messages that normally related directly to the theme of the song. If the song was about the occult, then you would find reversals about the occult. If the song was about gospel music, you would find reversals about gospel, you know, praising God. Well, it depends on the integrity of the gospel artist, of course. If it was about love, you would find reversals about love. Some very basic questions came to my mind. It was obvious that there was nothing, there was no intentional manipulation. These reverse phrases were occurring as a direct result of the way the speaker or the singer at the time was constructing his sounds of speech. In other words, the peculiar phonetic rhythms and patterns to his voice. I could find no research anywhere being done into reversed soundtracks. This puzzled me somewhat. I would have thought that a phenomenon as widespread as this would have at least been looked at at some level from an academic viewpoint. About a year later, I moved on to normal human speech. I remember the night quite well, and we had a few people over and someone said to me, well listen David, why don't we record our room conversation and play it in reverse? And then my reaction was, oh, get out of here, play a conversation backwards. We played the room conversation in reverse, and sure enough, right mixed in amongst the gibberish about once every 30 seconds were very clear and direct, intelligent statements that were a reflection of what the speaker was thinking and feeling at the time. It seemed to me impossible that we could speak in such a way that we're delivering two messages simultaneously, and for the next 2 or 3 years I spent thousands of hours analysing tapes, finding cross-references and patterns, and by the time 1987 came around, I had really discovered so many common factors to this whole phenomenon that there had to be something real to it. Then in beginning of 87, I remember I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it was like something just clicked. And then I thought, this is another form of communication. It has to be. And I coined the phrase reverse speech and wrote the very first draft of my theory. It basically states that the process of spoken communication is twofold. As all of us are communicating with each other, we are constructing the sounds of our speech in such a way that we are delivering two messages simultaneously. One is coming forwards from the conscious mind, which is how I'm speaking to you now, and the other one is coming in reverse from the unconscious mind. Well, many of you have had experiences where you have been speaking to people and you, within the first 3 or 4 sentences, you get a gut feeling that there's something more than what this guy's telling you. Like he's either telling you the truth or he's telling you a lie, or there's something extra. A lot of us call that intuition. It is my contention that the existence of the reverse speech process explains many aspects of human intuition. I've conducted numerous independent blind scientific tests to independently verify the phenomena. There's just not enough time in the hour I've got here to cover that.
David Oates is the founder of reverse speech, a controversial theory suggesting that hidden messages can be found when human speech is played backward. His research began in the 1980s. Over time, he developed the idea that these reversed messages could reveal unconscious thoughts, emotions, or even truths that a speaker might not consciously express. Oates has written multiple books on the subject and has conducted thousands of media interviews, including appearances on CNN's Larry King Live. He claims that reverse speech can be used for personal development, therapy, and even lie detection, arguing that the subconscious mind embeds meaningful phrases within normal speech patterns. While his work has gained a dedicated following, it remains highly debated within the scientific community, with skeptics questioning whether the phenomenon is genuine linguistic structure or simply auditory illusions. And here we have some of the best examples we could find of this phenomena.
Backwards it says, "Here's to my sweet Satan." Did you hear that? Listen carefully. It says, "I want to live it backwards, like the Zepp, whose power is Satan." Did you hear that?
And here we have a few that were intentionally done to show the difference in the sound when it happens naturally, as opposed to intentional.
I am the bringer of the air. Hear me. I am the beast that is technology.
All beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a sesame seed bun. 2 all beef patties, special sauce.
My name is what? My name is Siminam. It is man. Siminam. 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 It is man. Siminam.
And here is a guy that learned how to sing in reverse.
s'tI David Oates. Was serba we fid net. Zwanina shirevada. Read near zon there with Flaudur. Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer, had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw him, he would even say it glows.
During our research for this video, we came across some interesting and bizarre examples. From JKF, the moon landing, to babies speaking words in reverse. Check these out.
Theory may sound hard to believe, but it's creating quite a stir in Washington. CNN's John Holliman reports.
And today, the brave American and Allied forces are keeping watch along the sands and off the shores of Saudi Arabia.
President Bush making a speech about the Persian Gulf. Could it contain a secret code word which can only be heard by listening to the speech backwards? A longtime aide to Rhode Island Senator Claiborne Pell apparently believes the president and other top officials are hiding the code word in speeches about the Gulf crisis.
But we must recognize that Iraq may not stop using force to advance its ambitions. Iraq has massed an enormous war machine on the Saudi border.
Simone and the Times. Simone and the Times. Simone and the Times.
The fact that I did live for a time in the Soviet Union gives me excellent qualifications to repudiate charges that Cuba and the Fair Play for Cuba Committee is communist controlled. And when and where, because of the fact that we certainly don't have any trade with them. We are discouraging trade with that country.
Well, I have studied Marxist philosophy, yes, sir, and also other philosophers. These people have given me a hearing without legal representation or anything. You shoot the president? I didn't shoot anybody, no, sir. Why? Yes, you know, yes, yes, you know, yes. I didn't shoot anybody, sir. I haven't been told what I'm here for. You have a lawyer? No, sir, I don't. No free metal wolf. No free metal wolf. No free metal wolf. I'd like some legal representation. These police officers have not allowed me to have any.
America's got to be united in this hour, and
Try to be of any
in this hour. Oh, I sent defender you expect to come. Oh, I sent defender you expect to come.
We must be ready to defend the national interest and to negotiate the common interest. This is the path that we shall continue to pursue. I shield the path that's right said. I shield the path that's right said. This is our challenge. Not to hesitate, not to pause, not to turn about and linger over this evil moment, but to continue on our course. Here's the second con. Here's the second con. On the 20th day of January, in 1961, John F. Kennedy told his countrymen that our national work would not be finished in the first 1,000 days. You don't feel not. You don't feel not.
Usually the presidential car in the past has had steps on the back next to the bumpers, and have usually been one on either side standing on those steps at the back bumper. Half of the car was headed up. Half of the car was headed up. Half of the car was headed up. Neither of the police officers on either side made any move to push him away or to grab him. It wasn't until after the gun was fired that they then moved. That there are officers enough to the tail. That there are officers enough to the tail. Stand by. Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Yes. Houston, we've had a problem. It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Niagara, baseball. Niagara, baseball. Shut out the sun coming in some of the other windows into the spacecraft, so it's looking through a
We took the opportunity to try to take some photographs of it, but our film was just not sufficiently fast to capture the event. However, this does show the brightest part of the solar corona. It extends several moon diameters. My front.
My fraud. My fraud.
This seemed to work, but without quite the same degree of control of your stability as you moved along. We did find that mobility on the surface was, in general, a good bit better than perhaps we had anticipated it. That is the U.S. Eagle carrying the olive branch to the lunar surface, and we thought it was appropriate to deposit this replica of the olive branch before we left. That lowers our altitude down to 50,000 feet. We had two guidance systems working for us, and they behaved perfectly. It lowers our altitude.
In general, just a series of slides which, in the interest of time, I'm not going to dwell on, but I... Credit to the control center in this case. They were the people that really came through and helped us and said, continue, which is what we wanted to hear. There is X in there.
There is X in there.
This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we had a problem.
And you got that job. Before that, you were working...
Before that, I had worked at Los Alamos
right.
National Labs in New Mexico. You know, you can turn on an electromagnet and it makes a magnetic field. We can't make a gravitational field. You know, when I worked there, I was on the front page of the paper. So they were still able to archive, you know, bring that back from the archives. And, you know, Bob Lazar, a physicist working here at Los Alamos. So there was at least something there. This is if I was.
Well, sooner or later, I don't know if it's all going to be coming out at once. I mean, the one thing for sure is the thing that's on a lot of people's minds is what about outdoors? We must know. And
I want to thank also all the people on this campaign. Should not be but all. Should not be but all. Should not be but all.
That's gonna do it for this one, guys. As always, thanks for watching, and please, if you enjoyed, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. God bless. Peace be with you.
To speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands. The Lord is that belief. The Lord is that belief. The Lord is that belief.
What evil lurks in the hearts of men? The shadow knows. Man plus the heart.